Soldiers involved in Harborview street crash in good health. The soldiers were involved in Friday morning's two-vehicle collision at the intersection of Harbor Street and Hanover Street in downtown Kingston are said to be in good health. The details surrounding the crash are still unclear, but the incident reported involved a Jamaica Defense Force JDF service vehicle and another vehicle. A video circulating on social media showed the aftermath of the incident with two individuals clothed in military uniform on the ground near the scene. One soldier was positioned behind the stop pole with a colleague attending to them, while the second injured member appeared to be lying upright on the sidewalk. The soldiers were later transported to the Kingston Public Hospital for treatment. When reporters visited the hospital, one soldier was observed in the accident and emergency waiting area, fully conscious and speaking with civilians who offered well wishes, while the other two soldiers were being treated inside the ward and reportedly remain in good health. Bagua Guards closed many other roadways also impacted by heavy rains. Some roadways across the island are being impacted by heavy rainfall. Manager of Communications of the National Works Agency NWE, Stephen Shaw, says among the affected roads is the Bagua Gorge in St. Catherine. He said boulders are falling from the hills and the water level at the recovery is rising. The guard has been closed. Mr. Shaw said NWA teams are assessing the situation in a bid to address its safety. He noted that other parishes including St. Anne, Trelawney, Manchester and St. Thomas are being affected by heavy rains. Mr. Shaw said landslides have been reported across and in Highgate Hall Road in Trelawney. Also, the main road from Spalding to Cape Valley is flooded.
As we speak, there is an issue in the Bogwa Gorge. There's a landslide that is impacting the section of the gorge near the Sligoville Road exit entrance. We are also getting report that the water levels in the Rio Cobre, those levels are rising, and so we're watching that. The situation as it relates to the landslide, we are assessing it to see what is the best option to treat with it because it continues to rain, the hillside is wet, and we have to look at the safety issue as it relates to our stakeholders, our contractors with whom we work. We are also getting reports of landslides impacting the road from Stettin to Highgate Hall in Trelawney. Multiple landslides are there. We understand that power is also out in some areas because of light poles that have been impacted. So we are just advising persons at this time traversing corridors around the country to exercise extreme caution as they do so.
Alleged St. James gang leader Toots remanded on ammunition charge. Alleged St. James gang leader Shamara Forrester, otherwise called Toots, who the police believe is the head of a robbery syndicate, has been remanded for return to the Western Regional Gun Court on November 13. Forrester, who is charged with unauthorized possession of ammunition, made her first court appearance on Monday. 5 men were also held alongside Forrester, are expected to face the court on October 21. They are charged with robbery aggravation and unauthorized possession of ammunition. The St. James police are alleging that Forrester, a 33-year-old resident of Rose Heights, Montego Bay, is a key figure in a syndicate link to multiple armed robberies and the illegal trafficking of ammunition in the parish. Forrester and her co-accused were intercepted on the night of Sunday, October 5th, during a targeted police operation at Doom Street in St. James following 2 robberies in the township. They were apprehended under the St. James Police Division's ongoing crime-fighting initiative, Operation Endgame. At the time, Superintendent Linroy Edwards, head of the operations in the St. James Police Division, indicated that the Toyota Axia vehicle used in the crimes was recovered, along with several rounds of ammunition, ski masks, and a number of cell phones suspected to have been stolen. Speaking with reporters since the court appearance, Edwards said the police are committed to dismantling criminal network. The St. James Police, along with our supporting formations and counterparts from the JDF, will continue our relentless operation against criminal network, he noted. Finance Minister says government periodically reviews disaster mitigation and response plans. Finance Minister Favor Williams has pointed out that the government reviews its disaster mitigation and response plans periodically to ensure they work. She was responding to questions at a panel discussion on the theme Building Resilience in a Natural Disaster-Prone World at the International Monetary Fund IMF on Wednesday. Mrs. Williams outlined that the government has a national disaster risk financing policy that guides the process. The government also ensures that through public education about natural disasters, citizens are aware of the risk and what action they should take. She explained that in terms of financial aspects, the government has access to various instructions locally, regionally, and internationally. Mrs. Williams said the government is very deliberate in how it plans for and responds to natural disasters.
First of all, depending again on the intensity, we would look at our existing budget. What can we reallocate? What can we delay in order to manage? Beyond that, we have the National Disaster Fund at one level and then a National Natural Disaster Reserve Fund at another level. Putting it in the budget to ensure that it goes through Parliament so that when you need to call on it, it's available. Then we have contingent credit arrangement with our international partners, and those arrangements have different triggers in them. We have in the region CREF, which is our Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Financing Entity that was put together maybe a couple of decades ago. We definitely have an insurance, a parametric insurance policy with them. And then beyond that, we've used the financial markets in terms of the cat bonds that exist. Periodically, we have to review what we have because we know disaster risk changes over time. And so we have to ensure that these instruments that we have in place, that they will work for us, in the event of disasters as we look out. So we're very deliberate about what we do and in terms of ensuring that disaster risk mitigation financing is planned for in our budgets, and that we treat it as very important on an annual basis, doing these reviews, ensuring we have the right instruments, ensuring that we can respond adequately, not just from an infrastructure perspective, but from a people perspective as well, because in disasters, people get dislocated, from their homes and so on, and we have to respond to all of that.
Widespread electricity theft causing damage to streetlights in Rocky Point, stated JPS. The Jamaica Public Service JPS says widespread electricity theft from streetlights is causing major damage to lamps in Rocky Point community in Clarendon, leaving residents in darkness and anxious over public safety and security. The power supply company, in a media release on Friday, said illegal connections are responsible for over 70% of the electricity consumed in that community, frustrating both residents and JPS crews required to effect repairs to the lamps on multiple occasions. Most recently, on August 30, JPS teams were again in the area repairing street lamps that should have been able to serve the community for significantly longer periods. JPS, however, continues to work in the community and with community leadership to resolve the issues at hand, JPS stated. The company said its team has been working closely with the Clarendon Municipal Corporation to maintain streetlights generally in the parish. Some 70 streetlights have reportedly been repaired in 14 divisions, which include Denby, Maypen East, Maypen West, Maypen North, Mineral Heights, Palmer's Cross, Rocky Point, Hills, Yorktown, Innantown, Frankfield, Thompsontown, and Rock River. The company said across the island, in excess of 98% of streetlights are consistently functional, with 1,120 streetlights being repaired in the month of September under its streetlight repair program. It said acts of theft and vandalism not only undermine the work of the company, but more importantly, undermine the safety of fellow citizens. ITA temporarily suspend driver's license tests at Swallowfield Hub. The Island Traffic Authority ITA has announced a suspension of driver's license tests at its serve hub in Swallowfield St. Andrew starting next Tuesday. The ITA, in a release Thursday morning, scheduled repairs will be carried out at the driver's license and learner's permit section of the Solar Field Service Hub beginning October 21 and are expected to last approximately 4 to 5 weeks. During this period, written, yard, and road tests will not be facilitated at the location. Customers seeking these services are encouraged to visit the Spanish Town Road Service Hub, the Harborview Service Hub, or the Spanish Town Service Hub as an alternative. Customers who have scheduled appointments for learner's permit and driver's license at the Solar Field location during this period will be facilitated at the Spanish Town Road Service Hub. The ITA said motor vehicles inspection services will continue uninterrupted at the Solar Field facility throughout the repair period, and certificates of fitness will be issued digitally. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.